January. June 9th, 2023, the notice of this meeting of the Upper Township Committee was posted on the official Township Bulletin Board and the Upper Township website, mailed to the Cape May County Gazette, the Atlantic City Press, the Ocean City Sentinel-Ledger, the Herald Times, and filed with the Township Clerk. Tonight's meeting is being video recorded up until the closed session portion of this meeting and will be available on the Upper Township website. I hereby direct that this announcement be made a part of the minutes of this meeting. Would you please rise for the flag salute? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Would you call the roll, please? Present.
Here.
Present.
Here. Present. We also have Lindsay here in place of Mr. Monzo. So just, Mr. Monzo will be here arriving a little later, hopefully. So, yes. Very good. Joanne, proceed. Could I have a motion on the minutes, please?
Make a motion we approve the regular and closed session minutes for May 22nd, 2023.
Second.
Call the roll?
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes. Report of governing body members will go to Mark Pankos first.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Public Works is continuing their efforts with the grounds, getting ready for the summertime. The summertime is obviously rapidly approaching. So they were over in Strathmere a lot the past week or so, trying to get that ready. I also would like to just remind the public that if anybody should have any issues with Public Works, whether it's the trash not picked up, the first course of action should be to contact Public Works supervisor. The number is posted on the website. Things like social media isn't really monitored, and it can get kind of out of hand a little bit, maybe with some false information. So we want to make sure if there is truly an issue with something going on with Public Works, that they contact the supervisor first, and then if not, my email is also on there that they can contact to get the problem resolved.
Yeah, there's no reason to post on social media a problem with Public Works if you haven't called them first.
Yep.
Thank you. Curtis.
Thank you, Jay. Just want to remind everyone to please use caution. Our beaches are open. Use caution and swim in a protected beach. There's been already one tragedy last week, I guess, in Avon, New Jersey. Not that, it's a shame that swimming in an unprotected beach, and very preventable things there. We did have a storm the weekend of the 3rd, 4th. I guess it was a little bit of full moon northeaster. Not much of no weather, but just a northeast wind on a full moon, and we suffered a tremendous amount of beach erosion again. I'm sure Paul's going to report on it. Public Works and our lifeguards work to keep Williams South open, and I want to thank everyone for that. And we're very close to losing some more beach, and another opening's going to be closed. So just want to remind everybody, and our next full moon is July 3rd, so it should be quite interesting. That's all I have at this time.
Kim.
So I've had an incredibly busy few weeks. So over Memorial Day weekend, there was a number of events throughout the township that, several of us attended. I want to thank the Business Association for hosting Mayor Newman and I at their mixer at the Feathered Nest Gift Shop. If you haven't been to that gift shop, it's an incredible place. They host a lot of local artists. We were able to check out some of the artwork and sample some of the wares as far as like the jams and jellies and that kind of thing. I also would like to congratulate the Historical Society on the success of the Strawberry Festival that same weekend. It was a wonderful event once again, as it always is every year. There was another grand opening in Strathmere. Stratty Paddleboard at Whale Creek Marina had their grand opening. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to attend that, but it looks like it was a success, and I just want to give them some kudos. We're always happy to have new businesses in the township. There was also the grand reopening this past week at Boulevard Liquor. I believe they're on their 4th generation of that family now, is taking the reins. So that's pretty exciting to see a business that's thrived in our township for, I think, they've over 100 years now, right? Close to.
Yeah.
Yeah, close to. I want to thank the residents of Osprey Point for hosting our Memorial Day ceremony and inviting me to be the speaker. Also, Boy Scout Troop 79 and the American Legion for their participation in that. It was a wonderful day. That same weekend, we attended the ribbon cutting for the Simon Davies Military Museum, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, but I'll just send a shout out to Simon. It's actually a really amazing place, and if you have the opportunity, you need to go check it out. On the recreation side, over Memorial Day weekend, we had a vandalism event at the playground on East Golden Oak. I want to thank the Public Works Department for their swift response in getting it cleaned up. It involved a paintball gun, and they were able to get all the playground equipment, cleaned up really quickly so that playground could continue to be used through the weekend. Additionally, I would like to thank the parents of the juveniles that were involved for bringing those children forward and working with us to turn it into a learning experience. Those children dedicated some time to cleaning up another park in the township as sort of a penance for their error. And they issued an apology to the township as well. So I thank the parents for stepping up and partnering with us to make that a positive experience at the end of the day. The community center refurbishment continues on schedule. The painting's finished. We're working on the floors now. So we are taking pictures throughout, and we plan to put some before and after and during photos up so everybody can see the transformation when it's all completed. We are also continuing to accept vendor applications for our July 4th celebration. On Wednesday, I told you I had a lot to talk about tonight. On Wednesday, August 23rd, we are going to be partnering with Rothman Orthopedics to sponsor an event for parents and coaches for sports injuries and prevention. We'll have more details to come on that. We'll be putting some information on the Facebook page once the flyer for that is all finalized and approved by all parties. And last but certainly not least, today I attended a women's roundtable event in Lower Township. It was hosted by the South Jersey Perinatal Cooperative. They are an organization that works with women throughout the state, but this group, particularly in Cape May County. Today they were addressing the lack of maternity care at Cape Regional. I know that that's not a hot button issue for us here in Upper Township because we're fortunate enough to be much closer to other hospital systems in the area. But it was really encouraging to see so many community organizations come together and address, the healthcare disparities for women in Cape May County. And that is all I have.
You sure?
I think so.
Okay. Victor?
Good evening, everyone. As always, thank you so much for coming out. We had a resident, this is an animal control thing, we had a resident reach out about seeing coyotes in the area. Upper Township, along with the rest of the country, is seeing an increase in coyotes in and around the area. So Linda over at Shore Animal Control was nice enough to put together a really nice statement on behalf of the township and to give all of our residents a couple tips on how to make sure you can keep your pets and families safe. That's on our Upper Township Facebook page. It's a few posts down at this point because it has been very busy, but some highlights. Obviously, you want to make sure to keep all of your garbage cans nice and tight, remove any possible sources of water, bring your pets in at night. Any fallen fruit or compost piles, keep an eye on them. Those are areas that coyotes are attracted to. Motion-sensitive lighting around your house, clearing brush, and the list goes on, so please check out that post. It's very important. Also, animal control, there was a walkthrough done over at Beacon. Everything's going really well over there, so shout out to Beacon Animal Control for doing a wonderful job, as always. In recreation, I attended my son's opening day baseball event over the weekend, which ended up being closing day because it kept getting rained out. But it was a wonderful event. It was a carnival-type atmosphere for all the kids, and Upper Township did a wonderful job putting that on, so shout out to everybody there. The courts had a walkthrough. Everything went very well with the courts. We're working on the sound system for here. I just heard that that's getting installed very soon. Thursday. So that'll be the last item to get a good report there. And then on a personal note, I want to thank all my colleagues for attending all of these events that we've had around, a few that I've been absent from, because I'm happy to report that my wife and I did have our baby, Camellia Simone. Thank you. She was born on Memorial Day, 3:50 in the morning, which is also the time she likes to wake up every night. So that's the big news for me. So just again, thank all you guys for attending everything, as I was kind of running around taking care of all those personal items, but we're getting the job done.
That is no excuse, Victor.
Congratulations.
Check with the wife. Congratulations. Thank you. A couple things. I don't know if we brought this up before, but I don't know if Kim brought it up or not, but I know it was posted out there somewhere. Just a reminder, the Tuckahoe boat ramp has now been completed. That was a couple of weeks ago. That was a state project in the
See, I could have had more.
Yeah, you could have had more. I also want to bring up the kids camp. For those of you who have kids that are, I forget what the ages are, but it's middle school age up until 8th grade. I think it's 6th, 7th, and 8th graders that they're looking for. Highly successful last year. It's going to run again from June 26th to June 30th with a graduation ceremony at the July 4th celebration. So you can see the Division of EMS or contact them up there if you have a child that might be interested in that. It is free of charge, and they had a great time and did a lot of cool, neat things.
Yeah, it was a very good program last year, and a lot of children enjoyed it.
Yes, so additionally, as Victor said, the sound system, we were waiting on a part, and that should be in Thursday, and either the part's here, but the technician will be here to put it in on Thursday, so that is good. As I mentioned before, Tony Monzo, our attorney, had a conflict, and Lindsay is here. I think that is all that all the events that Kim mentioned, I attended a lot of them. I could not attend all of them. I have been to the Davies Military Museum in another capacity when they were just starting it many years ago. And so it is pretty neat. If you haven't been there since completion, but if you get a chance, that would be great to do. I also spoke as I've done for the past 20 or so years, at the Memorial Day, and this will be my last one, at Oak Ridge Campground. They have invited me to speak or get a speaker for them every Memorial Day for the past 20 years or so, and I've been able to do that. Usually I get a military person or some other politician, not me. But I did it for the last time this year, and it was very good, very well attended. Actually, some local township residents attended it as well, not just the residents of Oak Ridge. I think that's all I have, and we'll go with with Gary. We'll turn to you.
Just real quick, Mayor, to bolster off the recreation side, engineering is finalizing our lights on the engineering sign-off for Caldwell Park? Yes. Correct. We're also working on a green grant to replace the AC units up top there, so that continues to tomorrow, so it doesn't come out of taxpayer pocket. We're still waiting for ebb and flow for the meters on the ROI for the charging systems. You have a liquor license hearing on the 26th coming up. So before the meeting, you'll be able to. It's relative to the Deauville. And I do want to allow Mr. Cooper come up. He wanted to say a few words for Paul Dietrich, who is leaving at the end of the month. Mr. Cooper, if you want to come up top and say a couple words, and we'll give you my last minute or so.
Thank you, Gary. I'm here this evening because I have a recognition of Paul Dietrich I wanted to present. Since Paul's going to be doing a transition at the end of the month. It's not as bad as it is. Paul's been instrumental over the past decade that I've been involved with the Green Team and Sustainable Jersey. He was instrumental in getting the township registered and certified long before that. And he's been a real touch point as we kept the township certified. A lot of folks don't understand that the Green Team isn't certified. It's the town. The township is. So we've been doing that for quite a while. So I wanted to give Paul this recognition of appreciation. And it's a small thing, but it is, we create an artifact that we use for labor. That's right. So we'll turn around. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's it, Matt.
That's it.
Now you got the other presentation that you can roll right into the other presentation.
Well, we got to go around the horn real quick. Joanne, Lindsay, Paul Dietrich.
Thank you. I'll try to keep mine a little shorter. First, I just want to follow up on the community courses comment regarding beach erosion. It is continuing to be an issue. As we saw, we had severe erosion, and it wasn't even a storm. It was just a full moon. Public Works was actually out there this morning. Tecumseh Avenue had a 3-foot scarp this morning that the Public Works had to come clean up. And so that's not even up at the north end. That's starting to get into the heart of the beach. So it is something that we'll have to remain diligent in keeping an eye on public safety and just really caution people as they approach the beach with these scarps. They can fall off quickly and without notice, and it's real important to stay away from them. I know that there's been reports of people up in the north end, as the tide comes in, wanting to stay on the beach, and they get real close to that 10, 12-foot high scarp along that edge, and it's a disaster waiting for somebody to have that sand fall on them. So as that tide comes in, please don't sit up against the beach. It's time to get off the beach or move somewhere else on the beach that's a little more safer and you have a little dry sand. So this is something that we'll have to continue to watch until we get the beach filled in late summer. The next item, I just wanted to update the committee on some of the Stratford projects. They've got about a week delay. We had anticipated before that they were going to be doing grading and paving work this week. The amount of concrete work and getting that work done is taking a little longer. They should be done the concrete work on Wednesday of this week, and the grading and paving crew will be in on Monday, and they anticipate trying to have everything paved by the end of the week on Friday. Then they'll have some cleanup work and some painting to do over the subsequent week, but by the end of next week, we should be in good shape to have that project done. There's some questions regarding the pump stations that we have. We are still waiting for the controls for the pump station to come in. So that project, at this point, we're going to kind of push off until after Labor Day. No sense opening up another set of holes in Stratford during the summer season that could cause a delay in contractor work while everybody's trying to do it. So we're going to push that one off until the end of the summer. And that's all I had to report today. Thank you.
Barbara? Very, very good. Joanne?
Under presentation number 1, extending our congratulations and gratitude to Simon Davies for the Simon Davies Military Museum.
Move the resolution.
What's that?
Move the resolution.
Second. Call the roll, please. Yes.
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 Yes. Could we have Mr. Davies come on up here? Yeah, come all the way around if you can.
All the way up, Simon. Yeah.
Just right here in front. So we put together a resolution, or we had Joanne do it, and whereas Simon Davies, a junior at Ocean City High School and a resident of Upper Township, is founder of the Simon Davies Military Museum, which celebrated its grand opening on May 28, 2023, with a Memorial Day ceremony. It's a private project of Simon, is dedicated to military veterans and all who continue to serve in all branches of the United States military, especially family members, including Andrew Fletcher, Cairo McGrory, both of whom are currently serving. The museum is at 67 Tyler Road, property of Simon's parents, and displays impressive exhibits representing several United States conflicts, including World War I, World War II, the Korean War, Vietnam War, and more. At an early age, Simon developed a cultivated passion for military history, resulting in a decade of collecting military artifacts through donations, gifts, and purchases in order to create the full exhibit it is today. Whereas Upper Township wishes to acknowledge the outstanding accomplishments of this remarkable young man, his dedication to honor the men and women of the United States military. Now therefore be it resolved to extend his sincere congratulations and gratitude to Simon Davies for founding the Simon Davies Military Museum to honor military veterans who serve, those who continue to serve, and that the Township Committee commends Simon Davies on his interest in military history and personal goal to serve our country in the United States Marine Corps. Hoorah.
Thank you.
On behalf of my colleagues, I know Kurt served in the United States Army. Kim's son is serving in the United States Coast Guard, and my son is serving in the United States Air Force. So you picked the wrong branch, son. Why don't you explain, if you don't mind, explain to everybody a little bit about what the museum's about, even though we had it in the resolution.
Yeah, so absolutely. The museum's all about dedicating, the museum's dedicated to veterans and those who continue to serve. I feel like every piece of military memorabilia and the conflicts they represent all tell a story of the people that serve our country every day. So that was like the basis of it, and then it started because my kindergarten teacher gave me a helmet from the Vietnam War when I was like 6, and that's really what had like originally spawned my interest in it. So yeah, thank you.
Now you got the
Right, go ahead,
resolution.
Mom.
Yeah. You're filming that camera? Good job, good job.
Thank you, Simon, thank you.
We gotta talk. I'm freaking bad.
Okay. Moving right along.
I'd like to move the consent agenda.
Second.
Would you call the roll, please?
Yes.
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 Yes. I move that we allow it.
Second.
Call the roll?
Yes.
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 Yes. This has to be done, I think annually, Mike, correct? Annually. It's reviewed by the Fire and EMS and Office of Emergency Management, and then we'll sign it, basically. So if anybody wants to take a look at that on the Township Committee side, that is not a public document, I don't think, but
Nope.
some of it's part
I
of
was
it.
told that Mike had a full PowerPoint presentation.
But that can be reviewed at your leisure. I don't think there's any major changes from the prior years at all. I mean, there probably some names have changed and maybe some locations and stuff, but that's about it.
Moving forward, this will be a 2-year
Okay,
review instead of a 4-year review.
okay.
We're supposed to, we actually expired in February of '23, not knowing
That is down to 2, yeah.
that it's down to 2.
Okay.
Counties getting together with all the 16 municipalities in Cape May County and redoing all of them at the same time. And we're good to move on for the next 2 years.
This is all county and state and federally driven and required by law. So we'll do that. I don't think there's any kind of motion or anything like that needed. It's just more for information. Joanne?
Number 33, we have the New Jersey Department of Agriculture 2023 Spotted Lantern Fly Control Treatment Reimbursement Program.
Okay, I think we have to apply. It authorizes the mayor to sign a grant application to apply to be part of the program. So if
Need a
somebody,
motion?
Attention at our meetings.
yeah.
Motion to authorize.
Would you call the roll, please?
Yes.
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 Motion carried. Number 34, we have energy tax receipts, property tax relief funds.
This is also some sort of a petition or a group that's getting together to try to return the energy receipts tax to the municipalities as needed. Lindsay, you could probably explain that a little bit better if that's...
Sure. So in your packages, you'll see an email from Tony. Tony reached out to the League of Municipalities. They're asking that Upper Township join by signature of the mayor in a request that the state begin returning the energy tax receipts in the way that they initially were in 2001. I think Barbara circulated a chart that'll show how much money Upper Township is losing by the diversion of these funds. So it was our recommendation that you sign in with the League of Municipalities on this.
I think one of our neighboring communities also issued a resolution in favor of this too, so.
Maybe we could do that for next meeting.
We could do
and
both.
Authorize to sign a petition, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, I think you can authorize the signature by motion, but if you'd like to pass a resolution in support as well.
That's fine.
So I'd like to do both, yeah. I think
Yeah,
it'd be
that's why I
good.
think we should do both, right? So motion to authorize the signature, and we'll put the resolution on for next meeting.
And we have a second for
Second.
those? And would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Corson?
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Knappen?
Yes.
Mr. Pankos?
Yes.
Yes. Your pleasure with the bills.
I hereby move that all claims submitted for payment at this meeting be approved and then incorporated in full in the minutes of this meeting.
Second.
Would you call the roll, please?
Yes.
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 Yes. Thank you. Okay, at this time, we will open the meeting up to the public. Anybody from the public would like to comment to the Township Committee, please do so at this time. We must first ask that you state your name and your town of residence. I would appreciate that.
My name is Elaine Coltonback. I have a home in Strathmere, in Sumner Road, and also a home in Colorado. And my father bought the house when I was a little girl, so Strathmere has been in my life for a long time. First, I would like to commend the committee for replacing the end of street signage with a more stable, attractive, and practical sign. With that being said, I have comments on a particular topic, so please allow me a moment. 4 years ago, a petition for moving mats was presented to this committee with 500 signatures. As attractive as the new signs are, very few people will be able to stop to read them as they manipulate the 58-degree incline of soft sand with children, beach chairs, umbrellas, etc. in tow. All seaside towns now have moving mats. We absolutely need them. They are not a luxury, they're a necessity. In these past 4 years, money could have been put aside every year so that we finally could afford to purchase the moving mats. One day, someone will get seriously injured as they struggle to get to our beaches. Please, this is something that is a dire necessity. And we need them from the street, up that 58-degree incline, and then down the other side. You don't need moving mats on the flat of the beach, because that's easy to manipulate. It's the soft sand and the 58 degrees that makes it difficult for everyone, young and old, healthy and not as healthy. Everyone struggles. And I would invite every one of you to come and sit on the porch with me and watch the people trying to manipulate to get to the beach. Please, it's time to get moving mats. Thank you.
Question, Mrs. Hosmer, are you in Strathmere most of the time this time of year?
Yes,
Okay, I'll stop by.
wonderful, thank you.
Anybody else from the public? just step to the podium, ma'am, or wait for one other person, either way.
Chelsea Headley. Good evening, committee. I'm here tonight to pose a question to you. As you hopefully know, there's been a lot of news in the realm of offshore wind development in recent weeks. Two items I would like to bring to your attention. There was a letter released on May 24th titled 50 Mayors Across the East Coast Call for Immediate Moratorium on All Offshore Wind Activity Following Unprecedented Whale and Dolphin Mortality, on which 50 mayors, mostly from New Jersey as well as Maryland and Delaware, provided their signatures and concurrence of this call to action. This letter was submitted to all members of the U.S. Congress. The second item is the recently passed Cape May County Resolution 314-23, which, quote, directs all available resources of the county towards the goal of stopping Ocean Wind 1 and Ocean Wind 2 offshore wind development for the protection of our local environment and economy. In the resolution, 10 of the 16 county municipalities joined the county in, again, quote, arguing against having the NJPU disenfranchise local county voters by transferring the authority of their duly elected representatives to the unelected BPU, and several pages of whereases follow. It is clear the county is going to continue with any and all legal avenues to stop these projects, as they recognize the tragedy these projects will bring to our region. I bring these items to you tonight because Upper Township is not listed on either the 50 mayor's letter or the county resolution, which is yet again disappointing. We are quite literally on the front lines right here in Cape May County. The actions being taken by our local county, state, and federal elected officials are significant and really the first of their kind in the nation. We are now at an inflection point in the timeline of the Homestead project. This is not a done deal, no matter how much supporters of the project continue to say so. If we don't defend our homes from this impending boondoggle, who will? So tonight, I'm here to ask you, Upper Township Committee, will you consider joining the rest of us in publicly opposing these alternative projects?
Yes.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Mr. Forson.
I agree as well. I definitely think it's time for us to take a stance on it, one way or the other.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You guys aren't in-
Could I ask you a question, though? The county resolution referenced an onshore plan that they were proposing. Do you have any idea where that onshore wind farm plan was going to be proposed?
onshore?
Yeah, that's one of the line items in their resolution, is that they were proposing an onshore version. And I was just curious as to where that was going to be, if you knew that.
Actual wind turbines?
Yeah, that's one of the lines in that resolution that sort of stood out to me. Okay, I was just, you seem to have a lot of knowledge, I just was curious. Thank you.
Anybody else from the public?
Who's this lady's been trying to-
Yeah.
Elaine, I'm sorry, you gotta, she's been waiting.
Wait till the end.
Yeah, you gotta wait till the end.
I don't want it to be a misunderstanding. I'm not asking for moving mats for Sumner Road. I'm asking for every street.
Okay.
I'm a little nervous because I never ever did this in my life. So please be patient with me. My name is Christine Lord, and I'm here to represent myself regarding a hot water heater. I live in an affordable housing home, and I lived there for 7 years. And it's a historical landmark. It's beautiful. I love it. And I pulled up the municipal court, and I was speaking. I was talking with Paul. Paul, thank you for everything you did for me. It's about the hot water heater. But Paul went on vacation, and so when I pulled up and said, Paul said, if you have any questions. Call extension 300, and I did call, and I have to tell you, I was very disappointed because I spoke with this employee, and I said, he told me, oh, the hot water heater's been approved. It's been approved. I mean, then he told me the next day again. He was very short, and after some verbal abuse, told me, don't you have any friends or family that can pay for your hot water heater? You want the township to pay for this? So we spoke a little bit more, and then he hung up on me. He's also banned all my emails to go to the courthouse. He's banned my name. If I need help, I forget it. I told him, we don't get along, I told him, and I have all this written down that he sent me. Since we don't get along, I told him I would like to speak with someone else. Well, he told me he was the only one who could help me. He said, I'm in charge. So I thought, I just want to talk to somebody. Would you want to talk to somebody who hung up on you? And come on. And then he called me, I told you, 2 days later, he told me I was not approved. And what else am I going to tell you? Gary's mad at me because I sent a shared email to a few other employees because I said he was being unkind. And that's when he hung up on me. I was just approved for a hot water heater 2 days ago, and now he said, you're unapproved. I have never seen such discrimination in 67 years of my life. And really, I'm very upset about it. And again, he emailed me this morning telling me nobody else could help me because he is in charge. He just won't let me speak to anybody else, and he disapproved my hot water heater when I'm below poverty level. I have a 16-year-old granddaughter that I'm raising, and she just washed my hair with pots of hot water from my stove. And I am doing this for other senior citizens and poor people. Now, he said that I had 3 hot water heaters when I had 2. And I went home and I talked to my grandson and my daughter. And they said, yeah, man, we saw the guys coming. And the reason why I remember it is because there was a woman who was helping him carry down this equipment. I thought it was a hot water heater. I have the receipt on me right now to show you that this happened June of 22. And
It's pretty proposition number, isn't it?
yeah. So they both thought it was, I thought it was too. A hot water heater. Okay, and I don't have any hot water. This happened last month. I make $32,000 a year, and I'm raising a kid, a granddaughter. And he told me he was going to send me a letter that will give me, to tell me why I was approved. I never got a letter. And I just wanted to really talk to somebody else, that's all. I just need to speak to you people. So, wait a minute. I think it's very obvious that this guy had it out for me because he hung up on me. He was just very rude to me, and he wouldn't let me talk to anybody else. I'm just too old for this stuff. I just can't believe this is. I'm a senior citizen, and now I know what they mean about senior citizens things. They really get picked on. And I just wanted to tell you, with my bill from last year, with the hot water heater, that I was not lying about my hot water heater. And that's all I have to say. Oh, one more thing, yeah. I would like to be reinstated for the hot water tank because for shower. That's it, thank you.
Thank you, Miss. Is it within our power to help in this scenario?
That is the problem. What was approved was to move her application forward to our grant writers, which is Triad, okay? She does not qualify for the program. That is the problem. And the program rules were not followed. You have to replace and repair your damaged item or replaceable item and then apply for reimbursement beyond that. So that unfortunately does not allow us to do that.
Mrs. Lord, I just want to say that I certainly sympathize with your scenario. I see how passionate and frustrated you are. My mom was raised by a single mom. She didn't have a lot growing up. We're here in a public forum. If there's anybody out there that has expertise in hot water heaters that would help out, I hope so. As far as township dollars, though, it seems like...
Well, why was that just approved? I never...
You were never approved, Mrs. Lord. You were approved.
You said it, I was.
No, I never said that.
Well, I had it right.
I understand, but I'm telling you, I never said that. You were approved to go through the process, and you do not qualify for the grant program for a home that you owned 7 years ago on your second water heater. It just doesn't work like that.
Second one.
Correct.
And here I told you that this,
Well, there's
invoice that I have.
there's an underlying problem if you're going through that many water heaters.
I'm sorry, what?
There's an underlying problem if you're going through that many water heaters. A water heater should last more than 3 or 4 years. In 7 years, if this is your third one, that's a problem.
The program that you bought the house, or the program that assisted you to buy the house, that funding ended once you took possession of that home.
My house is 110 years old.
You bought the home 7 years ago,
We're getting off track here, though.
and the
I'll get it.
program does not apply to what you need. And we do apologize, and I said,
don't know why.
we sent you the letter. It does not
You never
apply.
sent me a letter.
It doesn't apply to what you're asking for.
Why not? Because I'm on the poverty level?
No, because
Or
the
because I'm a
program
senior
that,
citizen.
the program that funds what you're doing is for a prior purchase. You've owned the home for 7 years. The money is not unlimited.
I'm coming to you for help.
I understand that we are coming to the taxpayer for help. And the program that you're asking for does not apply to you. And I apologize.
Could I make a suggestion, ma'am? I don't know how involved you are with county social services or state social services, but there are other programs out there that help with utilities and housings and that are outside of the scope of the township. So maybe we could get you the contact information for the county and the social service office for the state, and they may have additional programs that are able to help you. But the program that we have here is not able to.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, as a matter of fact, I just looked at all your names and I wrote to every single one of you up there except Mr. Corson, I didn't write him. And not one person got back to me to help me. I just can't believe it. I'm really going to pursue this because I think you're wrong and I think you're mean and I think you are mean.
Anybody else from the public?
Yes, Jenny Wafford, Palermo. So myself also wanted to express that I am supporting of you guys passing some kind of a resolution that will condemn or at least take a stand when it comes to the wind farm project. I did reread the resolution, so there's nothing about.
It may have been the news article, maybe a quote in the news article.
In the resolution, there's no mention whatsoever of any other project. They did make the resolution part to allow for wind projects of the one that specifically was mentioned, plus others of such sort. So maybe that was what you might have thought. I just want to know why are we not taking a stand? Maybe it's because there's a misconception that maybe your constituents is supporting this. So I don't know if maybe everybody here is not supporting this, and some people clap together and say that maybe they want you guys to pass a resolution. We are a township that's going to be directly impacted by this project. We should be in the forefront. I don't care if they say it's a
this council for New Jersey. You guys have no clue as to what's coming with wind energy. This is going to destroy the billion-dollar fisheries industry that we have on this coast. You guys do not have a clue as to what's coming. I've been in this fishing industry for over 40 years. I've seen the good and I've seen the bad. Wind industry that's coming is going to devastate the entire coast. If you guys do not take a stand and step up and say something and fight it, how much they're able to get paid off. That's all I'm saying. How much do we get as a township to get paid off for having the substation at Ephesians Point? I know monetary was done. How much? Nobody wants to say it. 2 out of 5 of you have said you guys are opposed. The other 3, you guys have. You don't want to make a statement. You don't want to take a stance. I'm telling you, as a fact, in the business, you do not have a clue as to what's coming. Thank you.
Anybody else? Barbara?
Just want to say thank you for all of your service. I've had the pleasure of eating and talking over the last, many years off and on, and I appreciate the work that you brought to our township. I also appreciate the fact that there's going to be a better audio system, because there are a lot of people in the township that can't make meetings and they're really curious as to what's going on. So they do, at different times in the meetings makes it difficult, so listening to the video afterwards is important. And there's been a lot of frustration because you can't understand what's being said, so I think that's very, very important. I'm a communications professional, and communications is key, and especially with your constituents. And I don't want to jump off my point, but I'm going to just add to their points. If you're for it, I applaud you for saying that you oppose it. I applaud you, Mr. Knappen and Mr. Corso, for saying you stand up and say put a moratorium on it. Not oppose it, but put a moratorium just to wait and see. For those that are not, the other committee people did not stand up and say anything, I think communication is key, and the question is, and I don't expect you to answer it, but it's why not? That's the big question, why not? So there, as representatives of this community, it shouldn't be a personal agenda, it should be a community agenda. So I hope that you're listening. I would hope that you would communicate why you're not opposed to putting a moratorium at some point. Now back to my issue, communication. Usually when the public gets up and speaks, and they ask questions, and you can either listen to it on the audio, you can read about it in the paper, or minutes. And usually the minutes are posted well in advance of the next meeting. The minutes still have not been posted since from last week. And the only reason I'm really very much aware of it, because at the last meeting, item number 34 was after you broke into private session, you're going to come back and make, I guess, the appointment of Gary Demars as personnel officer. So I don't know what happened.
The minutes for the previous meeting don't get posted until they're accepted at this meeting.
That's not true. Let me finish. Can I finish and then I'll let you speak? One of the minutes, one of the meetings, and Gary, you know this in the clerk, the minutes were posted, I read the minutes prior to the meeting, and they were incorrect. It said I took a position on the wind farms and turbines, which I did not. And Gary said to me, go back and listen to the audio, and I did. And then I followed up, this was Friday, and you, at that meeting, before the minutes were approved, said that you had been contacted by Laura Murphy-Leary about correcting the minutes, which you did prior to the approval. So the minutes were out ahead of time.
The minutes had already been approved. That's why we did a motion to correct them. That was for a meeting.
Well, we can go back and listen to the audio.
The procedure is we do not post the minutes until they've been approved by the committee at the next meeting. So tomorrow, I will have the May 22nd meeting minutes up.
So they're always a month behind.
No, they're a meeting behind.
They have a football meeting, 2 weeks
They have
behind.
to be
Okay.
approved by the committee.
Then I apologize if I'm incorrect.
You are.
Okay, my question being, I have no way of knowing whether I raised some questions about, Gary Gary Morrison in particular, but the need for a personnel officer. Why? As a business administrator, his job description or job is to be a liaison for all the committee people. We have the personnel officer who is.
I think you were talking about the audio of the meeting.
No, the audio, they're after, the video stops after the regular meeting. It doesn't come back after you reconvene. The audio doesn't go back on. It ends after the regular meeting, correct?
Well, we did come back into, we didn't, we never.
dismiss.
We came back into open session.
And we didn't act.
Adjourned.
And adjourned.
Oh, all right, so that
There was
never happened.
There was no action
No
taken.
action taken.
I didn't know that, because there's.
Yes.
That's my.
They'll be there tomorrow.
That's my point. It's basically saying, when we stand up here in public and we want to know what, like that was a question that I asked, and you hadn't met on it yet, we're going to meet on it in closed session, and then come back and reconvene. There's no way, I have no idea what happened with that.
And that portion's also open to the public as well. right?
Yeah, if we would have come back in, if that would have been posted, well, when we come back,
Everybody can stay, who knows?
well,
how
when we
long
come,
we're gonna be out.
that would have been on the audio too. That would have been on the video too.
Okay, so after you come out.
Oh, it's not on.
There's
No,
an
I'm sorry.
audio recording for that.
It's not on.
No, I know, because it says.
Yes, I thought it was, but it was.
Mayor Newman reads the very beginning, it's audio recorded up until the closing of regular session.
Right.
So anything after regular session. is
Now,
not
if we had a resolution to be acted on in regular session, okay, after the closed session, we would have went out into the hallway to make sure nobody was sitting out there and bring them back in so that the public reconvened. And it would have showed up on the minutes, and I think we audio record? No, we do not audio record that last thing, but it would be on the minutes.
But the minutes aren't out yet. They're
Right.
gonna be out till next. So the common thread, what I'm trying to make here is communication. The township's always 2 weeks behind.
I don't think legally we can, because they're not really minutes until they're approved, right, so.
I just to make sure that the public knows when they get up here and speak, that first of all, what they're saying is being interpreted correctly, because it's not a transcript. It's an interpretation by the clerk. There's not a transcript. And so, my words were not interpreted correctly, and I caught it. And it's on the record, and I wanted to make sure that it was interpreted correctly. I appreciate that, it was corrected at the next meeting. I didn't realize, I always thought those meetings, the minutes were for that meeting we just had. I didn't realize it's a meeting behind. So again, my question, my concern is basically communication, making sure that you keep the township moving. And again, if you're not gonna tell us, if you're for something, let us know why you're against something as well. It's very, very important that the township knows where you stand. We're all in this together. We all succeed together, we all fail together. So I think it's really, really important that you sort of step up your efforts with communication.
Well, I will tell you why I'm against windmills. I'm against windmills because I think there's going to destroy our tourism. They're going to destroy our fishing industry. Nobody's going to come to the Jersey Shore and want to rent a property or anything of that. Nobody's going to call a realtor and say, I would love to have a place with a view of the windmills. I think it's not going to happen. I don't think they're fiscally sound. I don't think they're responsible. It's going to end in total failure.
Well, I hope people listen to the audio. I hope the newspaper reports these words. Because honestly, unless you're here at the meeting, click online, nobody knows what's going on in this township. There's not a newsletter. There's not a letter from the mayor that's gone out. I do appreciate the phone calls I get, the robocalls. When I get that, I'm like, yeah, this is all, because I'm a communications professional and there's an outreach happening. I really think that you would get much more positive support if your communication initiatives were elevated.
Thank you. Anybody else from public? I'm sorry.
Hi, I'm Jen McMahon, and I live in Upper Township. I want to applaud the people that were speaking about the wind turbine project. I've been very involved with the Protect Our Coast New Jersey. I've gone to the congressional hearing, which Mr. Niven and also Mr. Corson did attend. Thank you very much. And I do believe that you don't have a clue as to what is really going to happen in our future if these things go up. This is not just the end of tourism. It's not just the end of the death of whales and dolphins and sharks that are coming inshore to feed on the dead whales and the these 900+ foot wind turbines off the coast of our shore, we're talking about the size of the Eiffel Tower. These are not green energy. They don't even last. We're putting trillions of dollars into something that will last 15 to 25 years. And then what happens with that monstrosity that is out there in our shore? If you look at what's going into them, we're talking about diesel fuel, hydraulic fuel, and the worst thing of all is SF6. If you don't know what it is, Google SF6. It is 22,000 times more dangerous for our atmosphere than CO2. That alone should stop this entire project. It is the industrialization of our ocean. It's going to ruin our fishing industry. It's going to ruin our tourism. And that is what Cape May County lives on, is tourism.
Yep.
The restaurants, even in Orson's own contract, in their contract, they identify how many takes, how many dolphins, fish, whales they are allowed to kill. In Wyoming, they're allowed to kill bald eagles and golden eagles, and they just pay millions of dollars in fines. And that's exactly what's going to happen here. And that electromagnetic cable that's going to come up 34th Street under our beach, up Roosevelt Boulevard, and then to be out England, who wants to live near that? It is absolutely absurd and insane to me to think that we would actually think about doing this, and all under the guise that this is green, renewable energy. It is not. And in the years to come, I fight this all the time. I'm out there on the boardwalk, I'm out there on the bridge, trying to hand out information, because it's true. Nobody knows what's going on. This has all been done under the guise of COVID from 2019, and it's being shoved down our throats. And people are being paid off for that. One of the environmental groups has gotten up to say no. Not Wetlands Institute, not the Audubon Society, not PETA, the ocean groups, none of them, because they all are all being paid off by Orsted and President Biden. It is absolutely insane that with all of the dead whales that have come to shore, that not one group has come up and said, hey, what's going on? So I applaud the ones that agree that not to. Your words speak for yourself when you don't even speak up and say that you oppose it or you're for it. Thank you.
Anybody else in the public?
Hello, my name is Sylvia Lockwood. I'm from Katy Courthouse. I appreciate the opportunity to speak. I never know I'm a resident, but I am here regarding the offshore wind project, and Upper Township has a key part in that, so I just wanted to share a few things. So I've been interested in the environment my entire life. When I first heard about solar and wind, I was very excited because, we need clean energy. We need to make some changes for the betterment of our environment. So I didn't really pay attention. I heard very little about wind projects. I think the fall I heard somebody say something about it. In March is when I started hearing all of the negative things that were happening. Obviously all of the marine mammals washing out. That was very concerning to me. And then I attended the congressional hearing in Wildwood and listened to all of the experts speak. Since then, I have done a deep dive in the documents regarding these projects. The draft environmental impact statement is 1,480 pages. The construction and operation manual are 400 pages. I don't know if I have the exact numbers right, but anyway, it's a lot of information, and I appreciate you as a committee. I understand this is not the only issue that you have to deal with. I don't know if it's even possible for you to delve into the details like I have, just because this is my sole focus right now. So that being said, there's a growing concern from many people. The congressional letter is up to 51, possibly 52 people have signed this. I think the more that people are actually taking a look at the documents, the intake authorizations, the fuel, the turbines carry, the SF6, that's all information that I have seen with my own eyes on these documents as well. I don't think that the companies are forthcoming on the negative impacts that this has. I have a binder filled with printouts from Ocean Wind One, their draft environmental statement that they will cause harm to marine mammals. I just found today that there's intake authorizations that are now being done for our migratory birds. And we have the Atlantic flyway, all of the birds that we worked so hard to try to conserve are now going to be right in the path of these thousands of wind turbines. So if you have not already, I would ask that you please either yourself look at these documents or perhaps get someone in the community to go through these with you. I do think that it is, as more people learn the details, they realize, and that's why more people are getting on board and are, taking a stance against these. And thank you to Mr. Knapp and Mr. Fortune. I appreciate your support for the moratorium. Even all of the federal agencies, they just released a report called Synthesis of Science, and all throughout that report it says that they have major gaps in knowledge with regard to the effects to the environment. And if it affects our environment, it affects our wetlands, these are things we're never going to be able to come back from. Now is the time we need to do due diligence and figure this out. So thank you, guys. I did also have a couple of questions. I've never done this before, I'm not really sure how it works, but I'm wondering if any of the closed session items tonight relate to the offshore wind projects that are going on off of King County?
What's that?
So you have some items, so I don't understand.
We do have a contract negotiation. It says redevelopment agreements.
Redevelopment
Agreements. That has something to do with both the redevelopment agreements regarding down at Beezus Point Development Group. Yes.
Okay.
So that has it could have something to do with that.
To do with that, okay, I appreciate that. And the rest are just other.
No, the rest have nothing to do with it.
Standing housekeeping.
Okay, thank you. And then will you be taking any action on any other closed session items tonight?
Nothing tonight, no.
So it's just a discussion? Okay. All right, great. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. And I do appreciate your service. I know you guys have, a lot to deal with, state, federal. It's very complicated, but please, for all of us, try to open it up in more detail. Thank you.
Thank you. Ma'am, you had, we don't allow repeats. We don't allow repeats. No, ma'am.
All right.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
All right.
Wasn't planning to talk tonight, but I'm hearing a lot of emotion about the turbines in Ocean City, and I'm just wondering if our engineer, Paul Dietrich, has any background in
Actually, the township's,
What the township,
the township's position at the time, the township did support the gas line. The township wholeheartedly supported the gas line.
No, she's saying where were all these people
saying the
at
public,
when
not
they
the
shut down the gas line?
Yeah, these people should have been out when we shut down the gas line. Yes.
okay, but I'm trying to understand now, what is going on? Like, why are they coming out here and, you know, bringing all this up and demanding, statements and wanting?
Well, because they're concerned about it. I mean, everybody's concerned about it. If you derive, this fisherman here is going to likely lose his livelihood. He's adding 70 miles to his trip to go fishing. You know, so he's got to go around this mill farm. The cost of seafood is going to go up in New Jersey. If it survives.
But you're all elected officials and you're sitting up there, and I'm just not sure what, you know, what it is that they want, and I guess that's what I'm.
Take a stand.
That's what we want.
What?
To take a stand, we want them to take a stand.
I'll stand. Like they said, the rest of the township.
Take a position, that's what we got.
Upper Township is one of the few municipalities that did not take a public stand.
Not for again.
6.
Yeah, all conversations should be coming through the chair, not back and forth.
Yeah,
That's
there's
fair.
not a
This is
back
her-
and forth.
It's her time. You
Yeah.
have to be respectful.
Well, I guess as elected officials, I don't know what it is you can, actually do, other than maybe from, I'm thinking an engineering standpoint, or if you have experts, you know, to speak to any of these issues, or, you know, in other matters, there's been like subcommittees or whatever, that, I don't know, there's just a lot of emotion that I'm hearing.
Anybody else from the public that hasn't spoken yet?
Janice Cole from Strathmere, president of the Strathmere Improvement Association. I can't thank Paul Dietrich enough for all of his contributions that he made, not only to Strathmere, but to all of our township. I also really much appreciate his prompt response, and he always gave a personal touch while helping us resolve our problems. I just want to say it's been an honor and a pleasure working with you, Paul, and I wish you the best of luck in your new endeavor. I'm sure you'll be met with quite a bit of success. I also appreciate there's a lot of work going on in Strathmere, and I definitely will communicate the hazards that were spoken here about, the dune access issues and the beach erosion and the dangers of rip currents. Swimming, we're, you know, obviously on guard at beaches. We'll make sure we communicate that. Again, I think the season could be a challenging one for us. Anything that I can do to support the work that you all are doing up there, I will do to the best of my ability. And I also want to say the parking enforcement increase and all the programs that have been put in place, I think have alleviated a lot of our issues in that regard. Thank you.
Thank you.
Something else, Janice, I forgot to mention, we are getting a shipping container that's going to be put at the south entrance. Because if we have to close Williams because it gets washed out, our jet ski and all that will be moving to the south entrance. So that if anybody says something about the shipping container that shows up, that's why.
Yep.
Thank you, that's good information. I want to show off here.
Yes.
And I'm going to say one more thing as a resident owner, property owner in Strathmere. I oppose the wind farm and the energy project, and I do believe that the township committee should take a stance on that, speaking as a property owner.
Anybody else in the public? There we go.
I'm Blanche Adams from Steelantown. I'm representing the Upper Township Business Association. And I want to add my thanks to Paul Dietrich for all of his work for many years for the township. Paul has been a friend of the business community, and he's always answered our questions, my questions, with honesty and integrity and transparency, and you've helped us out a lot. And that was so evident during the pandemic. And Paul proactively reached out to our businesses to help them stay in business. serving. And Paul, and with the support of the Township Committee, you did that proactively just to help the businesses. And that did not go unnoticed, and I appreciate that. I appreciate everything you've done for the business community, and
Not the support.
where you land and will be a great asset and will be missed. And I just want to thank you on behalf of the businesses.
Hi, I'm Denise Powers. I live in Delhi, New Jersey. My dad was a fisherman. I'm 61 years old. He was out in the storm of 62. The offshore wind project is a catastrophe in the making, and I have a couple questions for y'all. It's my understanding that you're going to be concerned with potential tax revenue loss of about $6 million. If you won't agree to join in with the others on the moratorium, will you at least allow a resolution to conduct a study on the revenue of Beasley's Point redevelopment versus offshore wind?
Anybody else from the public? Okay, hearing none, I will close the public portion of the meeting and have Mark Pankos read the.
I hereby move that a
Motion.
resolution be incorporated into the minutes authorizing the Township Committee to enter into an executive session for the following matters pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act. Number 1, personnel. Number 2, contract negotiation, redevelopment agreements. Number 3, contract negotiation, video recording services. Number 4, contract negotiation, resiliency planning. Number 5, contract negotiation, subordination of mortgage. Number 6, contract negotiations, GES temporary access agreement. Number 7, contract negotiation, right-of-way, Prescott Avenue. I also include in my motion the estimated time and the circumstances under which the discussion conducted in closed session can be disclosed to the public as follows. It is anticipated that the matters discussed in closed session may be disclosed to the public upon determination of the Township Committee that the public interest will no longer be served by such confidentiality. With respect to employment and personnel matters, such discussion will be made public if and when formal action is taken or when the individuals involved consent that it can be made public. With respect to contract negotiation, such matters will be made public when negotiations have ceased and there is no longer a reason for confidentiality.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Yes.
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 Yes, we'll take 5 for a water break.